kind of want to be the pilot on this episode and talk about breast cancer awareness.
Yes, so
It
important at the word.
is October, so October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And as we know, and if you don't already know, because you haven't been with us from the beginning, my mom did pass from having breast cancer.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode here of Mindset Talks podcast. Got Amanda over here dancing in the background, all excited and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, girl. Always excited for another episode. Like I said, it
Same.
feels great to be back.
Yes, and I just can't say how much it is amazing to have you back and just in time to celebrate the 1 year anniversary. Gotta love how everything just kind of like aligns itself at the end of the day.
Oh, I know. It's perfect. Full circle. That's how the universe works. Manifesting the best.
It does. I don't know. I find stuff like that to be like so interesting. Like when you're like in moments and stuff like that, you never see it until you kind of like look back at everything that transpired and then you just like
Yes.
start connecting these dots and you're like, oh, that's why, like that had to happen that way or in that time frame or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. The irony of how all that worked out every
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
I love it though, because it usually works out for the better.
It does at the end of the day, which sometimes you don't want to hear, but
Yeah,
it really does.
very true. Look at you, your nice positive statement at the beginning of the episode. I love it.
See, I'm making
Yes.
progress over here.
Yes. And I'm just going to hit you with a little blindside. So, what's something that you're grateful for?
Oh boy, you and these side
Just,
questions.
just one thing. Grateful or thankful for one thing.
I am grateful for I feel like this is like a Thanksgiving episode here. I am just grateful for the wonderful people that I have in my life.
Okay. Damn, bitch, you kind of took mine. But
Oh,
um, one thing that I'm grateful for is my desire to be healthy.
there you go. That is, yes, that's a good one because not a lot of people have.
Desire.
Yeah.
Yeah. See? See how easy that was? We don't even have to elaborate. Just let them know what we're grateful for.
Not too much.
Oh my gosh. Anywho, I'm excited because I kind of wanna be the pilot on this episode and talk about breast cancer awareness.
Yes, so
It
important at the word.
is October, so October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And as we know, and if you don't already know, because you haven't been with us from the beginning, my mom did pass from having breast cancer. Um, a little debatable as if it was a breast cancer alone or if there's another kind of cancer that really brought her to the end of life. But
Yeah. To
she did have
interject,
breast cancer. Yeah.
did they put that as the cause of death on the death
Nope.
certificate?
They did not. They did not.
So what did they put down the other like issues that she was going through?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that wasn't listed as like a underlying cause or anything like that.
No.
Weird.
Nope. Ultimately, it was breast cancer that had spread. Um,
Gotcha.
and then it spread to her pancreas, and it wasn't discovered
Right. I remember you saying.
until days before. So they didn't put either. They put sepsis, which I guess ultimately is along the lines of that. But
Such a damn generic ass thing to say. I hate it when doctors put that down because it's like that. So for those that don't know, and I only know this because of where I work, that just means like the infection of blood. So
exactly.
pretty much you're saying that they died because of this infection, but infections are caused by something. So it's like what caused that to happen in the first place? Like you can't just
Correct.
put sepsis. If you're doing things correctly, you should not just put
Right.
sepsis on the death certificate because it's
Right.
always caused by something.
That's essentially the same they're saying about COVID too. You're not
Yeah.
dying from COVID, you're dying from an underlying condition that had um, pretty much worsened from you having COVID. But
Right.
you
Or
know,
like, pneumonia or
Right.
something like that. So
Exactly. But so I felt like it was only right that I speak on breast cancer. I am going to tell you I am not a guru in it. A lot of what I know is from just some research I have done.
yeah,
I got a lot of my information from the National Breast Cancer .org website, to be honest, and I do recommend that a lot of you go and check that out. If you are interested, or even just to learn something new, I think it's always good that we obtain new information as people. We have so many electronics and things to distract us that really don't help enhance our wisdom or even just enhance our understanding of each other. So I just want to throw that out there. But so you already heard a little bit about my mom's background. So yes, my mom, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She was 58. Was she 58? I think she was 58. Don't mark my
what
word.
year was she born?
She was born in 59.
59.
1959.
So that's yeah, because that's 4 years older. No, 4 years younger than my dad, and my
Yep.
dad died at 62. So
I'm just debating because I don't know if it was discovered at 57. I know she had a mastectomy at actually, I'm not even sure because she found out around the time of her birthday. So I'm just not sure how that fell in line. I'm not sure if it fell in line after her birthday when she found out she had cancer or just before. So she was 57, 58. We'll just say 58. That's the close number there. So she did find out she had breast cancer. My mom found it out from doing a self exam. So she had felt a lump in her breast and went to the doctors and got it checked out. So it wasn't like she was doing her annual mammogram or anything like that. She found it herself, which they always recommend us to do too, which is, very
yeah,
important, clearly.
huge, yeah, about doing that.
Hmm.
Because you're with yourself every day. So why would you not just like cop the
Right.
feel?
Right. Touch the girl, see what's going on up there. It's good to know your body because who's going to know your body better than yourself?
Exactly. And you should certainly know if something feels off to you because things don't just like grow.
Right. Exactly. And they always say, check while you're in the shower, do circular motions when checking with two fingers. And you want to do it after you have your period, your menstruation cycle,
Mhm.
to be able to check for that. So my mom didn't have her period at that age. Come on. So, she found a lump. She got it checked out. It was found to be cancerous. So my mom did have a mastectomy. So she did get one of her poor girls chopped off, and so delicately put, chopped off. And so she went through chemo treatment. She also went through radiation as well. And my mom, she passed a year to the day of being cancer free. So a year after she had her mastectomy done, that's when she considered herself cancer free. Because essentially they're taking the cancer out and you're just having treatment to help protect, your body, which kind of kills cells. So it's a little counteractive, but I'm not going to dig into that.
Right.
So she did pass away a year to the day, which was very unfortunate because many times cancer, those diagnosed with breast cancer do have a good opportunity to live longer.
Yeah.
But for the fact that my mom's cancer spreading and it not ultimately being breast cancer that really caused her to pass away, that's why her span was so short, in my opinion,
Mm.
which sucks. But it gave me a lot to learn from. So that's why I'm able to speak more on this episode today than Cassie, just from my personal experience with my mom and being her dad and my mom as the reason why, we're on this podcast and made this podcast. So
Yeah.
I just want to share that with y'all. So that caused for me to have my own experience with breast cancer, as in being tested for genetic testing to see if I carry a mutation of that gene.
And that just I'm gonna stop you because that
Yeah.
seriously just requires like a round of applause just because the like balls that you have to actually like go and do that is fucking insane. Like
Yeah.
We've talked about this before, both on and off the podcast, and I just don't think that I could put myself through that kind of stuff. And I just appreciate you just for your strength and your courage because, girl, it it is the right thing. It's a smart thing to do, but to
Yeah.
actually like go forward and take those steps and go through and see the doctors and hear these things and like that shit is fucking hard. And like
Yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, I know it's been rocky and stuff like that throughout the process, but like the fact that you're still trying to be smart about this is just very commendable.
Thank you.
You're just awesome.
I appreciate that because it definitely isn't easy. I did go have an ultrasound done. I talked to a counselor about genetic testing soon after my mom had passed, and I didn't go through with it. I couldn't. I just was not there. And then last year I did it, and I found out that I do have a mutation of the BRCA2 gene. So just for a little more clarification around that, there's BRCA1 and BRCA2. BRCA is breast cancer, so BRCA for breast cancer 1 and breast cancer 2. BRCA1 is known to be more aggressive than BRCA2. Fortunately, I have BRCA2, so if I were to have breast cancer, then it would be a more aggressive breast cancer than having um, the second one. So I do have the second one, so I don't have to be as concerned of an aggressive cancer hitting me if I were to go down that road. I'm not
Yeah.
going down that road because that's not instilled in my life. So we're just gonna leave that there. Um, we all carry the genes, but if the gene is altered or broken, which causes them to ineffectively pretty much protect you, because that's their job. Those genes, the breast cancer genes, are to actually protect you from the breast cancer. It's not until they're altered when it doesn't allow them to do their job. And that's when it opens up possibilities to get breast cancer.
Mm.
So just a little bit of information around that. If you have BRCA1, there's a 55 to 65% chance that you could get breast cancer by the time you're 70 years old. And if you have BRCA2, there is a 45% chance of getting breast cancer by the time you're 70 years old. Um, and that's if you have those genes mutated being altered or broken. So, like I said, we all carry the genes. That doesn't necessarily put us at risk. And
Yeah.
even um, less than 10% of people who have breast cancer have the gene mutation. So, just think 90, so of all breast cancer patients, 90% don't have a gene mutation. So you don't have to have a gene mutation to be someone to get breast cancer is what I'm saying.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is interesting because that I did not know. I thought that you had to have the mutation of BRCA to actually develop cancer.
Yeah, apparently on the National Breast Cancer site, less than 10% diagnosed have a mutation. So I thought that was kind of backwards too. Maybe they have a typo. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
it's not really reassuring in any way. But it's just good to know that we have to take care of ourselves regardless of what genes we think we have or may not have, and mutations and anything along those lines. We just need to take care of ourselves in general.
Yeah.
And men aren't safe. That's a myth that men can't have breast cancer. If you think it is, it's actually true that they can have breast cancer.
Yeah.
And it's actually a higher mortality rate for men around breast cancer than it is women.
Probably because they don't detect it as frequently.
Exactly. Yep. So even for men, they need to, be aware if they feel a lump in their chest that they typically wouldn't feel. And I know from what I've read, for men, around their nipple and areola is where usually lumps are found. So just in general, guys, if you feel something that's not right, if your pecs ain't pecking and you have a lump, you need to go and get that checked
You're insane.
out.
Said if your peck ain't pecking. All right.
So yeah, how I'm affected by this is that I have to do extra screenings. So I have to get screened twice a year. So women 40 years old and older typically have to go annually to get a mammogram done. Myself being considered as high risk for breast cancer with the gene mutation, I do have to go twice a year, every year. Mind you, I'm not 40. We all know this. I'm not 40. And every 6 months, I have to alternate between an ultrasound and a mammogram, which, if any of you are over 40 and listening, or anyone under 40 and has had a mammogram, that shit is not fun. Have you
No,
ever had a mammogram?
no, but you told me about it, and I don't ever want to. My
Yo,
mom has too, and it just does not sound like a good time.
they squeezed the hell out of my little grapes. I was like, how? Like, how do you come back from that? Like, I feel like this borderline abuse with the way that machine just like it's like all you hear is like clicking and cranking. I hate to say it, but it reminds me of like when you get like a gyno exam done and you hear that click click click, but like the click 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 is on your boob and it's squeezing your boob rather than opening something. Yeah, it's freaking weird and it's just like awkward because your chest is all in there and you're like neck back, chest out, shoulder up, back down. What? I don't know what I'm doing. Like I've never been touched like this in my life.
It's like back in the days when you're going for school pictures and like, all right, now turn to the side, cock your head back, put your shoulders forward, and
Yes.
smile. And you're like, what? Can you say
Yes.
that again? In the middle of you asking them what you said, they're like, okay, click. Like,
But the part that always slayed me is that they
um,
always have combs. Like
yeah.
knowing damn well our
Do they
parents
still
sent us
do
to
that?
school with our hair ready.
Right.
Like and I remember I had braids and they gave me a comb. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this comb? I have braids. I'm not combing anything. Here's a comb, ma'am.
Oh, man.
Keep your comb.
That shit is insane.
So yeah, so mammograms are just kind of awkward and not fun, but necessary if you are concerned or if you find a lump. Obviously you want to start with your doctor first if you do find something, and they'll best advise you on which route to go.
Yeah. Well, and interject a question there for you.
Interject it.
Since you are now a mama,
I'm
are
somebody's mom.
I know. Don't get me started. Do not get me started. Um, but do you know, and this might be a dumb question, but
No such thing.
can you still get a mammogram whilst breastfeeding?
No.
Right?
They have me doing ultrasounds.
Oh, okay. Because
They'll
then
squeeze the shit out the milk on my boob.
so I was just thinking, I was like, there's no way that they can.
Sorry I ruined your equipment with my milk.
But like I've seen like weirder things because like I've never done it, but like you can get certain services done like when you're like on your period and stuff like that. So I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know, like
Yeah, nope. Do you actually know that random fact? But you can get a gyno exam while
I
you're on
think
your period.
yeah, I've heard it, but it's
That's
not
weird.
something I would
Sounds
ever
messy.
feel comfortable. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not even
am I
comfortable in the
supposed to like
first place, so that's even worse.
pop out my tampons? You can pop in the
Right.
thing to scrape
Right.
around. Like
Switch. It's like a triathlon.
that just sounds like a lot of work. I just no, thank you. Can I reschedule, please? Okay, see you next
I'm not
week.
gonna make it. I'm sick.
Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Now I wanna know if anyone's had the balls to actually go get, like, a pap or something while they were on their period because
Mm-mm.
I can't.
That's always a reschedule in my book. Sorry, I didn't time this out well. I gotta reschedule.
Right? So weird.
Mm-mm.
So weird. I don't know.
So yeah, so back to breast cancer. Um,
Oh, the tangent. Gotta love it.
um, and actually, to go off of your question of being a mom, so now I do have to be concerned about this being a mutation in my daughter's genes. So that is kind of sucky, but me being aware of it is great because it's a step better than my situation with my mom.
Right.
So, we always want to do better as the next generation, or we always want to do better than our parents did for us. So, this is one way where I can contribute myself to be better in the area of health. And as you heard me say, I'm grateful for, having a desire to be healthy. And I'm only going to pass that on to my daughter. So,
Yeah.
that will be on my list of things to worry about in her future.
But no time soon.
Not right now. Not
Don't have
right
to
now.
worry
We're
about
just
that
worrying
right
about getting her to sleep.
now. Right? Oh.
So, just a few more about preventing care. So, we've talked about screenings. 40 years old and older, you want to do your mammograms annually. Even when you're like 20 years old and up, you just want to make sure that you're, going to the doctors, especially when you have concerns, but you just want to stay on top of wellness, like wellness checks pretty much. Um, Not like the wellness check when the police come to your house and make sure you're home, but like a physical exam type of wellness check.
I'm glad you clarified that, 'cause in my head, I'm like, I knew that's what you were saying, but my mind went to that kind of a wellness check because
Yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to clarify that because I know you, Cassie. So I'm sure someone else may think the same way.
okay. Well, as long as
Um,
it's not too weird, that's
yeah,
reassuring.
no, it's not weird. So yeah, you want to stay up on your checks, your exams. You just want to make sure the girls are good. The girls, or whatever nickname you may have for them, I call them the girls. So the girls are great. That's what we got over here. So if you go onto nationalbreastcancer.org, that is nationalbreastcancer.org, they do have a oh, yeah, they have a mammo pledge. So that is pretty much a pledge, like a button you can click on to say that I'm going to schedule my mammogram. So it's just a pledge to say that you're taking care of yourself, which I think is pretty cool. They have like a tally there, which shows you about how many people have pledged. I hope the number is accurate. I'm not really sure what the number is at this exact time, but I'm only hoping that it goes up because as people, we need to do better with taking care of ourselves. And I feel like going through COVID, that really opened our eyes as to how much more we need to do to continue to take care of ourselves.
Yeah. Well, and on that same note too, because of COVID, a lot of people were afraid to stay up with their routine checkups and stuff because nobody wanted
Hmm.
to go to the doctors or the hospitals, and
Right.
we're starting to see those effects now. So, it's still important. They have, telehealth things, and like Amanda was
Yes.
saying earlier, there's ways you can test yourself, and
Hmm.
it's really just the awareness and staying on top of these things is super important.
Absolutely. So definitely check that out. Just going onto the website in general, it has free resources. It just is informational. You can also donate. So the National Breast Cancer Foundation will actually help you to pay for a mammogram. So mammograms are about $150 ish. So if you're uninsured or underinsured, or you just don't have enough to be able to cover that expense, they can help you with getting one for free or even for a low cost. So there's really no excuse as to why you're not getting yourself checked. Um, we're all scared and anxious about having results of something we don't want. And I'll tell you, over the past year, I've had 3 biopsies, one being done while I was pregnant for areas of concern within my grapes. And they were all benign, thankfully. But, you just can't be too sure and you can't be too safe. So it's really good to do. I was not happy about getting a biopsy done while I'm pregnant. Like, who the hell wants to do that? Luckily, it was an ultrasound guided biopsy, so it didn't um, be deemed as unsafe for my baby, which is great because obviously I wasn't going to do it if it was. But there are ways to still get things done even in different circumstances. So be sure to just take care of yourselves.
Super,
And
no, super woman.
yeah. So one thing that I found to be really cool, and I'm gonna wrap it up with this because I don't want to explode your brains with all this information. You can go to the website yourself and read, but you can donate to a mammogram on the website. So, foundations are always accepting donations, but you can donate so it helps someone to be able to cover the cost of their mammogram. And you can donate in honor or in memory of someone. And one thing that I found to be super cool is that you can see if your employer will match your donation.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
So, if y'all don't already know, I work for Home Depot, so Home Depot, woohoo, right? And I looked them up to see if they're an employer who matches, and they are, which I found to be
Ooh,
really awesome.
nice.
So there's many different businesses on there. You just have to type in the name of your employer, and you can just see on there if there's someone who matches, and why not donate and have them match,
Right. No,
you
exactly.
know?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's my spiel. And I really hope that I was able to give some type of good or new information to someone today, because it's important. It really is.
Yeah.
And I am going through it, and it's not easy, but I'm glad that I can be like a voice of someone who's actually doing it and showing you that you can do it. You're just gonna be anxious and
Yeah.
scared.
Stressed out. Yeah.
It's stressed out, yeah. But most of the time, you won't have anything to worry about as long as you're taking care of yourself.
Exactly. That is so true. And as Amanda would say, you dropping all these gems over here for everybody today.
Gem dropping.
You added a lot of great information. I think that was super awesome and helpful. And before we go, speaking of foundations and donations and things like that, it just made me think of a quick little story that I want to share.
Ooh, please share.
Well, you kind of already know like part of it, but I never actually like said it out loud to you. So there was this time, right? Maybe like a month. No, maybe like 2, 3 months ago now, right? I was walking home from work. I was going to the train station, and you know, I work and live in New York City. And whenever you're
Hmm.
walking through the streets, you always have people that are like trying to like sell something or get your attention, or a bum's like trying to get money from you or whatever. Like it's always something, right?
Right.
So normally you just kind of like keep it pushing and like you ignore majority of the people just because like there's just so much going on. But
Right.
so this one dude approached me, and I, just kind of like I like looked at him and then like I just kind of like kept trying to like keep it pushing, but he like stood like in front of me,
Oh,
so like I couldn't really like I still could, but like you could tell
it
that he was
required
like
effort.
really trying to get my attention. And because whenever you see these people on the street corners, you really try to just like be in like a group of people so that way like
Right.
they won't come for
They won't catch
you.
that one fish by itself.
Right, but I was that one
Mm-hmm.
fish by myself that day. So I was like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
damn it." I was like, "I can't really get out of this one." And, so I was like, "Okay." I was like, whatever." I was, like, still, like, walking, and he's, like, walking with me, talking at the same time and stuff. And in my mind, I'm like, "I just wanna get to the train so, like, I can get home." But
Hmm.
then in the middle of his speech, he's like, "Oh," he's like, "We're a foundation for breast cancer." And I was like, "Oh." I started, like, slowing down, and I was like,
Right.
"Damn it."
He got me. He got me.
I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Breast cancer, you say, huh?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, it's like this foundation, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "How much can you donate?" And he just, like, pulled out his phone. I'm like,
Oh,
"Whoa, buddy." I was like, "I've never heard of this foundation." I was like,
right.
"We're in New York City." I was like, "Let
Right.
me Google this real quick and figure out, like, who the hell you are. Are you legitimate? Just because 'cause you're wearing a pink shirt and you got a little table don't mean that you're, like, an actual
Right.
foundation."
Right.
So I looked it up. It seemed to be legit, and it still does to me. It's called Your United Breast Foundation.
Okay.
Breast Cancer Foundation. um, and so I mean, long story short, I did end up donating to them because they really caught me when they said breast cancer, and I was like, that means a lot to me just because of our relationship, and I loved your mom and stuff like that. And if someone
Hmm.
said that they were like a throat cancer foundation, you're damn sure I would have like stopped and like
Right.
done something.
Dump your
Um,
pockets.
exactly. So
Thank
girl,
you.
they wanted me to donate like $500, and I was like, nah.
Ooh,
I was
calm
like,
down. Calm
I was
down.
like, we're not doing that. He's like, oh, if you do $500, you can get this, this, and that. And I'm like, no. I was
You
like,
know, let me donate what's in my range.
right. So I did donate, because, as I said, that does mean a lot to me. And I almost didn't because I didn't want to give him the time of day just because that's a hustle and bustle in the city.
Hmm.
Um, but I still did because it is truly important. And even the smallest donation can truly help change someone's life.
Yep.
Even though it might not seem like it really can once, they got all the money combined and stuff like that. So,
Nice.
so yeah,
Very
that was
well.
just my little story that I wanted to share.
Very well. Well, thank you so much for donating.
Of course.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had
Well, we definitely appreciate y'all tuning in to another one of our episodes. And as you see, if you have an opportunity to donate for a good cause, you definitely should do it. It will always come back around to you, even though you may not see it right away. It's going to come back to you in some way, some shape, or some form.
Exactly. So, thank you guys. We hope that you continue to tune in and listen to us, and make sure you guys go ahead and spread awareness to others so that way they can listen in on some of these amazing tips that Amanda dropped for you guys today.
Yes. Until next time.
All right. Bye, guys.